He's got a touchdown.
The impossible dream of a play. Madden is on the field. He wants to know if it's real. They said yes. Get your big butt out of here.
Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts Jackson, and he scores on the last play of the game.
He's got it. End zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle.
How's it
It's
going?
a
How's it going?
miracle. It's
Oh
a
my
miracle.
gosh!
Oh my God, it's a miracle. We're back, man. It is Sunday. You know what that means, bruh. It's the Football Frame of Mind weekly show. We are not just a podcast, man. We do everything. Live game streaming. We do preseason breakdowns. We'll get into more about that later today. But we do everything. Anything you want in terms of your football needs, wants, and desires. This is the show for that, man. We do it all, man. We do it all, and we enjoy doing it, man. So we're happy to be here on this Sunday, man. It is a wonderful, wonderful time to be talking about football, man, because you know, the seasons get creeping closer and closer, man. Whether you like NFL, whether you like college, whether you like high school, because the high school guys, they getting ready for their season just as well as everybody else. So it's important to give those guys some love as well. But we will have our special guest, so this is not a false advertisement. We will have a special guest. Our homie Devin will be joining us a little bit later. So we're going to have him to discuss a lot what we have going on. But before we even get started, man, how you doing?
I'm good. We get to start early today. We get to start early. I say early. We agreed to 6, but you know things happen at 6:30. You know 6:30. It's all the same. But if you guys like this kind of content, especially like these preseason breakdowns, make sure to leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Follow across all of the awesome platforms we're on, whether it be YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitch, football. And if you like to watch this kind of stuff, but you don't have physical time to watch it, you'd rather listen, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon as well. But if you are on YouTube and you're already subscribed, which you should be because it's completely free, hit the bell notification so every time we have a show like this, we have daily shorts, live game streams, community posts, anything. You'll get the first notification so you'll never miss a beat. It's completely free to subscribe. If you like this kind of content, just subscribe. It'll pop up faster. You'll be the first one to get it.
Most definitely, man. So, shoot, let's see. We got some comments, man. Hola, see that smooth, man. I told you, I give you the biggest shout out of every person that watches the show because you've been down with us from the beginning, and we always appreciate it, man. We always appreciate it. What's good, Andrew? We appreciate the love, man. So before we get any deeper into this, man, shout out to everybody at the Villain Sports Media Network, man. Okay, like I said, we're business partners at the end of the day, right? So it doesn't matter what we got going on. We believe in this dream. That's what we started. So we can't go. That's why I always run, our Villain Sports Media page, right? So go over there, give that page some love, right? Not as much uploads because we've been trying to fix our view problem right now. Thank you, YouTube. But nonetheless, man, we do appreciate everybody over there, man. So can't go on without doing that, man. But we gotta get to today's thing because we got a lot to talk about, man. But first things first,
Woo,
man.
look at that.
Congratulations to everybody, man.
Y'all need to be on the first place pedestal for that. Check y'all out.
Most definitely. We have to give everybody props, man, because we said, hey, we need to fix this for next week. We were at 90 something, which means that bottom number was like in single digits. But we good though. We are good now. I love this. Love this. Keep watching and keep subscribing. All right, man. Don't be shy. It's free. You just press the button. You let your kids watch Coco Melon all the time. So why not? They subscribe to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I speak from experience. I got a bunch of YouTubers that I don't even watch on my personal YouTube account. Why? Because my son did it. So guess what? You can do it too. Click that subscribe button.
That's a good jump though, man. What not subscribed was like at 90% last week. Jumped all the way down to 83%. Not subscribed is up to 16, almost 17%. Come on, let's try to get that to 20%.
Yeah, man. Let's bring that down.
We're issuing a challenge to everybody watching this. Let's try to get this subscribe percentage from 16.6 to at least 20% or more by next Sunday. It's a whole 7 days. It's as easy as just clicking a button. And if you like the content, it's not going to hurt you at all. If anything, it's going to make it easier to get all the awesome content.
Of course, man. Of course, man. But appreciate everybody, especially See That Smooth and Andrew. We know y'all be watching, but See That Smooth, you be on all the live, everything. It's like every time we go live, he right there.
He's like, bro, he been having his bell notification on since day one, bro. He's on everything. He's like, oh, they live, I'm in there. He'd be like, I'm at work, oh, I'm in there.
Yeah, man. Like, shoot, I just let it play at work, man. Shoot, look, we appreciate it, though. So we do, man. So we're gonna flip things a little bit. We're gonna start with the NFL stuff because we got a lot of college to talk about, man. So we're gonna just do a quick NFL discussion, man. So I want to get your thoughts on the best out of these 2,000-yard seasons, right? We got OJ Simpson's 73 season. Good evening, Wendy. Good evening to you. But we got 1973's OJ Simpson's 2000 season, right? I think he was the first one to get 2000. So that's the first year. And then we got the current 2,000-yard record holder, most rushing yards in a season. Eric Dickerson when he was with the Rams. So I wanted to get your thoughts on these two seasons. Which one was the best to you?
So right off the first thing you want to look at, because in this era between the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was a change in the amount of games they played. So if you look at OJ Simpson, they were playing a 14-game schedule at the time. Well, yeah, I want to say they changed it somewhere in between time. But if you look at the games, there's only a 2-game difference. Looking at attempts, Dickerson obviously played a couple more games. He's about 40 more attempts. OJ only has 2,003 yards. We have 2,105 rushing yards from Dickerson. Both of them are averaging over 5.5 yards a carry. That's amazing. Dickerson has the edge with 14 touchdowns. It really just comes down to preference, I think, at the end of the day. Because if you're just looking stat-wise, you're going to be like, oh, well, OJ's is more impressive because he played 2 less games. Me, personally, I'm a little biased. I really like Eric Dickerson. He's one of my favorite running backs ever. Honestly, if I'm just looking at the stat lines in general, I would give the edge to Dickerson because he did play a little bit bigger of a part in the pass game, but that's kind of separate from the rushing. Honestly and truthfully, if you can run for 2,000 yards, I think it's really hard to say, like, what's the most impressive one? Unless you're playing in today's game and you're playing like 17 games, possibly even more going forward. They're talking about expanding like even more. Then I think they're damn near almost all in the same playing field compared with like Dickerson, OJ. I think with Chad Johnson, not Chad Johnson, Chad Johnson, not Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson,
Chris Johnson. Yeah, Chris Johnson. And was there another one? Wasn't there another one in between time? In between that time, or was Johnson?
So the 2,000-yard rusher.
Oh no, Jamal Lewis did too. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in my recollection, you got Barry Sanders, Eric Dickerson, Jamal Lewis, OJ,
and Chris Johnson.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I don't think it's any more than that.
No, I think that's it.
Unless I'm missing one.
No, I think that's it. And correct us if we're wrong in the comments.
Saquon.
Yeah, but I count that, but they play more games. Like I just feel like,
but I mean, he would have got it anyway. He got it in what? So they played 17 games now. So I feel like he got it in 16. Because I don't think he played much in that last game.
Yeah, you might be right. I mean, out of these two, I don't know if you give the edge to either or. Most people probably give the edge to OJ because he played 2 less games. I'm just more of an Eric Dickerson fan. So, I mean, I'm kind of indifferent on the subject. Anytime a running back can go for over 2,000 yards, and in this case, rush for over 5 yards a carry, which is insane. Dickerson with 5.6 yards a carry. OJ for 6 yards a carry.
6 yards a carry. Bro.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy work. And then, 14 rushing touchdowns and 12. Both dominant seasons, nonetheless. You can't go wrong with either one.
Nah, I can't. So for me, I liked OJ's a little bit more, kind of for the reasons that you were saying, the 14 games versus the 16. But I just liked it because of how they did it. Because the Bills were trash, so they were losing games basically. So they was like, man, look, we're gonna block our asses off to give you the opportunity to get this record, right? Mm-hmm. I think there's a story that the last game of the year was against the eventual Super Bowl champion Steelers. And I want to say Jack Lambert or something yelled across the line, hey, win the game. Try to win the game. Stop trying to get 2,000 yards. And I'm pretty sure somebody yelled back, hey, yo, fuck you. Mind your business. Mind your business. Right?
That's a lot in that day and age, too.
Yeah, but the fact that they really went all in to get OJ this record made it really cool. And then you add the fact that he had 6 yards of carry. I mean, he was really running, right? Then he parlayed that into MVP, right? That's the separator for me, right? Nobody was better than him that season, flat out. And then with Eric Dickerson, yeah, he got the record, but he also had more games, and they were a running team. The Rams back then, they just hand him the ball. Like, yeah,
I love his running style though.
Yeah,
just straight up, like, not just straight. Like, it kind of makes me think of not the same, obviously, because he wasn't nearly as good. But remember how T.J. Yeldon would run like that, just like that straightforward, like not crouch, just straight runner like that, like high.
Yeah, like I can see that. Nah, I ain't mad at that. I just like OJ, man, because he was just smooth, man. He just smooth as hell. Like he wasn't. Nah, OJ. OJ was.
Oh yeah,
he was just smooth, man. Like, get it. Everybody talks about his off the field action. We talking about his football action, man. He was one of the baddest running backs, one of the baddest players in college and in the league. Because people forget he got a Heisman too. So you talking about being a bad mofo. That's a bad mofo, man. You know, so he was cold in my opinion, man. So USC got like 8 Heisman winners or something like that. I think they got the highest of all of them.
Yeah, they have the most out of anybody.
Yeah, OJ is one of them, man. And Reggie Bush got his back. So we happy about that, man. So y'all get in the comment section and let us know which one you prefer. See that smooth? I hope you're still in the chat, man. Tyler, hope you in the chat too, man. Let me know what you think. What y'all think? Y'all think OJ's was better or Eric Dickerson was better, man? Let us know. Let us know, man.
You seen this? You seen this video for this comment he's talking about? Like
Which
Adam
one?
Sandler. So if you highlight it, says Adam Sandler is going to get Derrick Henry in a movie if he drops 2,000 yards. So Derrick Henry was on the Dan Patrick show, and they were talking about movies and stuff, and he expressed that like he's a very big Adam Sandler fan, and Dan Patrick's like, okay, well, like if you can run for 2,000, or I don't know if it was him or Adam Sandler, but he's like, I'm gonna put in a word for you. And Adam Sandler sends him this video. He's like, oh, I love you, whatever. He's like, man, he's like, yeah, you run for 2,000, we'll put you in a movie and everything, and they have dinner and all that. So it's pretty much a deal. So if Derrick Henry goes for 2,000 yards this year, you're gonna see him in an Adam Sandler movie, which would be pretty dope. I would have loved to have seen him in like Happy Gilmore too. That's crazy.
Right, something Happy Gilmore where Derrick Henry get to run over somebody.
No, like you remember in the first one how they had like the big, tall white dude, like the big, strong guy. Derrick Henry could have been the guy like that, like pretty much like the enforcer.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I fucks with that. I like that. He be chasing somebody down.
yeah. And stiff
like, I'll see you in the parking lot. He's like, okay.
My bad.
Oh
OJ
my
also.
God. We're not even going there. We're not going there. See that smooth,
dude.
but,
Come on, man.
But
Like we talk about football, bro.
did you see the glove though? Since you want to go there, it was stopped right here. His hand was bigger than the glove, bro. Where did they get that glove from? Baby Gap, because that's where that glove was at, bro. Somebody else did that, you know.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
Nonetheless,
says I know Dickerson more for football. I think we should know how Simpson got plastered in my child. When we were kids, I mean, that did overshadow. Like we were taught about O.J. Simpson's football career, but it was vastly overshadowed by all the other noise that was going on.
Like people forget that he was cold on that football.
He was not, and running like that. And obviously Jim Brown was really great for his time, but O.J. Simpson running like that in the 70s with no help, because the Bills, like Cam said, they were horrible. It was just run, OJ, run. Like just go. Just go, bro. 6 yards to carry is crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's like
dominant.
That's a first down almost every time you carry the ball. Yep. Like that's crazy. He was like on some Gale Sayers type shit. You know how Gale Sayers was like at 7 yards to carry?
Imagine if Gale Sayers could have played an entire career. Oh my gosh. That nobody talks about how good that guy is.
Yeah. Like if you think about Gale Sayers, bro, like he was ahead of his time, bro. He felt like Chris Johnson almost. Like I'm just faster than everybody, so I'm just finna just run for 2,000.
My dad got to meet him in the 90s, I believe, when he worked at Foot Locker. He got to meet him. He came in the store and everything, so that was pretty cool.
I'm telling you, dog.
Gale Sayers was nice.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
We got to do a running back episode one day.
Yeah, man. Just talk about different running backs, man. Different running back styles, man. But you should put this picture like as a poll or something. Like just to see what people think. Like if they think OJ's was better. We already know it's gonna be a lot of riffraff. Like OJ doesn't count because he was a murderer or something like that.
We get all kinds of crazy comments in the polls, bro.
But no, nonetheless, man, let's keep going. We're gonna get into this.
I was gonna show you something. I was gonna show you something I pulled the other day. I don't know if you watched the video.
What's up?
That's a Ray Lewis rookie card.
Hey, you know what's also funny? I had my little brother watch the highlights of Kurt Warner's first game in '99. Right after Trent Green is out for the season, but they announced that Kurt's the starting quarterback. So I had him watch the highlights because he was watching all the LA Rams stuff. So I said, hey, man, why don't you watch the 99 season, man? You'll really get pumped. So come to find out, you know, they was playing the Ravens. And when I say Ray Lewis had like a couple sacks, like an interception almost like, bro, Ray Lewis was out of his mind, bro. And then I figured out I had to remember who our quarterback was at that time. Scott fucking Mitchell.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
The
like
GOAT.
Literally a GOAT. He was bad.
That was a good one. I like that.
He was bad.
We got to clip that. We got to clip that audio and use that.
Bad, bro.
But every time we have a bad player, we got to clip that audio and make that a little audio thing on it. He's bad.
He was bad, bro. Oh my god, he was so bad. But nonetheless, man, the game was close because the Ravens was like playing hella good defense, bro. Like it was the fourth quarter, and we going on and on. But just because you showed me the Ray Lewis rookie card, he was awesome, bro. He was awesome. And it's like 10-17 in the fourth quarter. And I'm like, bro, like, did we lose this game? I don't remember. But of course, Scott Mitchell threw an interception, like he was trying to be like Aaron Rodgers and like direct the dude to go deep. But then he threw it to the defensive player that was deeper than the offensive player.
Oops.
Right. And then of course, you know, the Rams had Marshall Faulk, man, threw a couple screens, and then Torrey Holt touchdown and then an Isaac Bruce touchdown that just wiped them away. But there was a young Chris McAllister in there, bro, and he got an interception off of Kurt Warner, and that shit was tight because he threw it and he caught it with like one hand. And he was about to score, and then pure Ravens, like before the 2000s, he tripped at the goal line. He tripped at the goal line and stopped at the 2-yard line. So there you go.
See, that Smooth says, want to know who else Scott Mitchell played for? Yeah, you're Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT.
He stole all that money when y'all should have just started Andre Ware.
we talked about this beaucoup times. Your organization was dumb at that for a long time, bro. But you ready to transition into the SEC?
Yeah, man, we are definitely in on it, man. So
or do you have something else in between? Do you have something else coming up before that or no?
No, I don't think so. Hold up, let me see. I don't think so.
Just I don't want to skip over like.
No, yeah, we got
recruiting first. Okay.
One little thing. So all right, so these are gonna. What's up?
I already knew the first name on this list.
Oh yeah, nah. Richard Anderson is like good as shit.
Top 5. What this is top 5 defensive lineman, or is it just edges, Cam? Because I see D lineman on the clip, but I see edges in the description.
Nah, my bad. Probably got to edit it. My bad. But
so
this is
top 5 defensive lineman.
Hey, edges, defensive linemen, they're gonna be hybrids anyway. So like they could be hybrids when they play in the league anyway, because Aiden Harris is way too small to be playing defensive tackle. So he'll probably be on the edge somewhere, standing up. But nonetheless, man, defensive linemen, edge players, these are your top 5 going into 2026. So expect these guys to be probably 5 stars, some of them anyway. But Richard Anderson, most definitely.
That's the car, bro.
He's already a 5-star committed to LSU. So you've already lost big guy from that's going to Michigan right now. So you got to start keeping these 5 stars, right? If you're Brian Kelly, can't let him leave, especially not if he's in state.
Not at Edna Carr. That's been a really good school for LSU. Got 6'3", 335 pounds. He's already got great freaking size. Depending on like what his muscle mass and stuff is, I've got to imagine he's got really good reach. Like that's going to be a stud. He might be able to see some playing time as a freshman this year. They got some really other big names, and this is unbiased, but dude, when I look at the size of some of these other guys, this guy's a freaking man amongst boys. 6'3", 335 at 18 years old or 17 years old is crazy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dog, that's one of them things, man. He's good as like that's NFL size already, you know. Mm-hmm. As we get into the SEC breakdown, you see some of the freshman impact players that I picked. These are guys that are already SEC body-wise ready. They just need the experience, you know. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be really fun. But you can play the video if you want to. That's next.
Is there okay? There's nothing else. Okay, so now we're gonna be transitioning into our full deep dive SEC breakdown. Sorry for people listening. It's gonna be audio for about a minute, but it's a pretty cool little intro video. Hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah.
Tagovailoa trying to make up for it. Fires to the end zone. Touchdown! Alabama wins. Returned by Chris Davis. Davis goes left. Davis gets a block. Davis has another block. Chris Davis. No flags. Touchdown. Auburn. And Michigan at the 41. What a hit. Ball's free. On the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do.
12 to go for the first down. Sterner lost the football. Oh my goodness! He stumbled and fumbled, and Billy Ratliff recovered.
Oh, that was so that Chris Davis. That
I thought you would get a kick. See, I had to ease you into it So I put the Alabama stuff first, so you wouldn't be like as hurt.
No, that was good though. That Tagovailoa touchdown, that's one of the greatest calls ever. Then I seen you had put the dude Clint Sterner, man, when he dropped the fucking ball against Tennessee. Like, oh my God, that right there. Talk about choking a game away.
Not just
Tennessee
that big
doesn't.
Jadeveon Clowney hit too.
Yeah, that was a good one. But imagine having Tennessee, who eventually goes on to win a national title. You have a chance to beat them, and you just drop back the pass and drop the ball, bro. Oh my God, he definitely got beat up in the locker room. It's like they had them, man. But all right, so welcome to everybody who's watching right now. We got 28 people in here across all of our social media platforms. So we appreciate everybody that's here right now. But welcome to our preseason breakdown, man. So we're gonna go deep diving into the SEC this year, man. Whether we're gonna do coaches, we're gonna do players, man, and we're gonna pick our SEC champion or title game champion as well. So stay tuned with us and we're gonna be awesome, man. So for our audio listeners that are gonna listen to this a little later, man. So we start off with how the rankings basically went last year. So we start with the champion, runner up, and then it de-escalates after that. So that's how we do it. So you see, we got the championship matchup for last year. So just to let y'all know that we do know what we're talking about here. So let's get started, man. All right, so like I said, our audio listeners, man, won't be able to see the screen, but we have our returning superstars that are coming back for that next season to get ready to fight for an SEC title and a national championship should everything go right, man. So of course, I gotta have Caden Durham, LSU guy, running back, Garrett Nussmeier, one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. Ryan Williams from Alabama. I gotta have DJ Lagway in there because he's probably the best quarterback in the SEC right now, arguably, of course. But as far as potential goes, you can't say nobody better than him, right? Then Diego Pavia, obviously the big upset of the year, I think, was Alabama. They beat Alabama at home last year, and he's a good player, man. I can't say it. He gives me really like Tebow vibes, bro. Like I'm just gonna try to win regardless of what you do, right? And of course, Lenora Sellers, who if Lagway's not the number one guy, Lenora Sellers probably is, considered how good he was. And we got to give some offensive linemen some love. Caden Proctor is probably not the best offensive lineman, but he's one of the guys that's going to be picked in the first part of the draft next year, right? He's 6'8", 350 pounds. Hope he gets a little bit smaller so he can get a little agile because those little guys was messing with him last year. They was fucking him up. So hopefully he gets a little agile, but these are the returning stars that I really wanted to talk about. So who's exciting for you? You might go Homer, but I have to ask who's more exciting.
I'm gonna stay away from that because I feel like I've covered on that enough. Durham's gonna be great. I feel like we'll see if he has a sophomore slump or not. I'm not gonna get into that. I really like Sellers out of South Carolina. As soon as he took them freaking goggles off, bro, it was once he got those contacts, it was game. Running ability, damn near unparalleled by anybody else in the country. Great arm strength, good accuracy. He's got a quick release. Very, very dangerous. Now, I want to see how this offense looks going into this year. The Rocket Sanders obviously got drafted into the league very late in the draft, which was really crazy to me. But his potential, like you saying Lagway, I think Sellers has got even greater potential, in my opinion. If he can just continue to progress as a passer, his running ability is crazy good. Very fast, great acceleration. I love his arm strength, like I said before. And he just knows how to drop a ball on a dime, I feel like. He doesn't seem like the pressure really gets to him. So I want to see how he's going to build off of his freshman year last year. And will he keep South Carolina in contention to maybe make a playoff push? They almost made a playoff push towards the end of last season. So I'm really curious to see what he can do this year.
Shit, they should have made it, quite frankly, to be honest with you. They was the hottest team going. You know, they're the hottest team smoking at the end of the year, man. But I keeping away from the homer. You know, I really like Lagway. I think Florida, when they should have gave him the reins earlier, and they probably would have won a whole lot more games. No diss to Graham Mertz, but you ain't Lagway. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people was like, well, he did all of that against Samford when he first got the start. But I'm like, that's the perfect start for a guy that has, you know, that's about to get the reins. You know, like let him get comfortable, let him get some type of confidence. You know,
don't just throw him into the fire.
Yeah, had you thrown him in there in that Miami game, I think it might have been ugly, like it was anyway. You know, so like, but that was a good start, man. So I'm definitely excited to see Lagway, man. Now, if I'm going Homer, I really want to see what Ryan Williams does with a quarterback that's a little bit more accurate than Milroe was last year, because he had 800 yards last year as total, right? But in the first 3 or 4 games, he had like 500 yards. So imagine if he had a quarterback that was not just always throwing to him. He would have a lot more one-on-one.
They would have spread it out and let him get
he would have had a whole lot more one-on-one opportunities rather than the safeties over the top. He's getting bracketed or jammed or checked by a linebacker before he goes across the middle. Things like that. Open up his whole game, because if he catches the ball in an open field, look out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I was thinking, man. But let's get into some defensive stars that are returning, man. Some good guys, man. So for our audio listeners, man, we have Jermod McCoy, cornerback, Tennessee, probably one of the best cornerbacks in the country. We got Anthony Hill Jr., probably one of the best linebackers in the country, at least edge linebacker, outside linebacker. He's one of the best. Then we got Whit Weeks from LSU. He's one of the best linebackers.
He's nasty.
Then we got Damani Jackson, defensive back from Alabama. Don't know how he projects at the NFL level, but technically he's one of the best corners in the league. He won't get burned, and he's big, like 6'2", 6'3". So he's got a lot of potential. You got Georgia's KJ Bolden, and of course South Carolina freshman superstar last year, Dylan Stewart. He's one of the best defensive ends in the country. You see the picture for our video watchers, man. He's got crazy bend, crazy bend. So, what defensive player are you looking forward to as I check out this comment? Yeah, but he's good, man.
I'm gonna take reference to a guy you don't have on the screen. Guy who I'm gonna be Homer here, but I'm not gonna reference Whit Weeks. I'm not gonna reference Harold Perkins. I want to see what Jack Pyburn does. Transfer from Florida. I think he's an immediate impact player, especially being able to play in the mix with Whit Weeks and Perkins. He's a real high energy guy, really strong, able to disrupt things on defense. I want to see how he plays. And the fact that you're letting Perkins play back on the edge, Whit Weeks is going to sit in the middle. He's perfect for that spot. Like, I think this defensive unit is going to be much improved. And I think Pyburn is going to be a big reason for that.
Oh, of course, man. I want to see what Dylan Stewart can do in year 2. You know, people are going to know he's there now, right? And he's going to be building a case to be a top 10 draft pick, right? He looks athletic. He's got crazy bend, and he's going to have like 2 years to do it, you know? So I personally know how it's going to work, you know, watching football for a while, right? This is probably going to be his best season. And then next year, he'll draw it back a little bit and make the plays he needs to make. I seen it with Jadeveon Clowney. His sophomore year was his best season. That's what got him drafted number 1, right? But he took it back his junior year. So I expect this to be his best season. And if he doesn't have 10 sacks this year, I'd be surprised. Let's see.
You didn't see Whit Weeks on the screen for a while? Yeah. His thing was he really showed, like when Perkins left, his athleticism and his ability to be around the ball really got showcased, you know, in those games where LSU's defense really showed out before, you know, they started getting exposed later in the season by a la A&M and Alabama. He was a big reason, like, their defense was coming to play. Like, really high energy, really good captain on defense. Like, he's definitely going to make a step forward, I feel like.
Where's the L? What you mean?
Who's the elephant in the room?
It was some Alabama players on there, if that's what you were talking about. It was like 2.
I feel like he's talking about somebody else.
I don't know. I think he's talking about Arch Manning. Yeah.
Dude, okay. Yeah, but look, okay. And I made a short about this. I don't know how Cam feels about this. Arch Manning's got crazy potential, okay? But we've seen a very limited sample size, and we haven't seen him play an entire SEC schedule yet. I'm not going to buy into this Heisman, number 1 overall pick. You need to show me something. I need to see a full SEC schedule, and you can say whatever you want, but I need to see how he's going to handle that. I want to see how he's going to handle the pressure of a lot of these guys coming in his grill every single game, trying to disrupt him, trying to cause him to make mistakes. That's going to be the test, man. The SEC is the closest thing to the NFL, in my opinion. Obviously, it's not the league, but it's the smoothest transition, I feel like, because the SEC develops NFL players like nobody's business. So, although I think Arch will have a good season, I'm not going to buy into the whole Heisman number 1 overall pick and elephant in the room thing because I need to see something from him. He hasn't shown me anything yet. He looked really good in limited sample size, but he's got to show me something.
Yeah, man, that's exactly why I didn't put him on the list. I'm like, dude, I'm looking for the established guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I would have picked anybody to put him over, it would have been Diego Pavia. But Diego Pavia showed that he got the stones to beat Alabama. He got the stones to beat. I think did they beat Tennessee?
No, they did not beat Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
It beat some other teams, but I see the Tebow comparison you make. He's just got that grit, and he, like how you said, he's just gonna go out there and make whatever play he can. Like whether it was Tebow running, the jump pass, like just that gritty, fiery guy who's really passionate about winning.
Yeah, dude, he earned my respect, man. Like, dude, because I was like, man, Vanderbilt ain't got nothing, man. But as long as they got him, hey, look, it is what it is. But they got to come to Alabama this year. So, man, when you looking at the situation, when I want to say when Manziel beat us, right, and got to his Heisman, right, I want to say that was at home. Right?
Yeah, that was it. That was in Tuscaloosa.
But the next time we played him, it actually was a good game. It was just as good as the game he beat us in, to be honest with you.
Y'all might do what Ryan Williams said y'all gonna do. Ryan Williams said y'all gonna be the ant. We're gonna hit you with a sledgehammer.
Man, I kind of see how that game going, bro. Like that, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty because ain't no way we go into that game with the same mindset.
No, you coming hungry. Like you got
because they caught us in a weird spot because we had just played Georgia and we just beat them. Like at least the first half was
on a low, pretty much. Like y'all were like riding high.
And then you go into the game, it's like what 3:00. It's like that screams upset. Like we don't really want to be here for real. Like, and then Jalen Milroe didn't even play that well. Like, bro. So yeah, but
it's a shame.
It is. But I mean, he can't escape the name. It's just what it is.
And like I said, he looked good. I'm not gonna distinguish that. Like, he looked good against SEC competition. But it's just like until I see you playing over a larger sample size, I can't like go out and be like, oh yeah, he's a shoo-in for this and that. Like, college football has too many intangibles to go out on a whim like that.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So those are your returning stars, man. So we're gonna get into some impact transfers, man. So these are a couple guys that I really wanted to talk about, man. So I like Barion Brown for y'all, man. It's something about LSU and receivers, right? And if he can get going, look out, right? I think he had trouble with some drops last year, dropped a couple passes, but that's okay. But that's okay. When Vandergrift's throwing you the ball, it probably just looks a little ugly. So you don't want to catch it like that, right?
I'm sorry, Vandergross.
Yeah, he's gone. He's retired from football now. So, but speaking of guys that are coming into the SEC, man, John Mater, man, the number one transfer player in the country, honestly, coming from Washington State. He's going to Oklahoma to be their guy, which is a much needed position that they need to fix. An established quarterback that probably gonna be able to sling it across the whole yard, right? And then Georgia loses a really good player, right? But they got a bunch of really good players on the so does it really matter, right? So he's like, dude, I'm tired of sitting the bench. I want to play. So Damon Wilson II is taking his talents to Mizzou, right? And that's pretty good because Mizzou needs a linebacker and he gonna get a whole lot of playing time. So those are a couple guys that I'm really looking forward to. But Mater going to Oklahoma is the one thing that I like because that changes their whole team. Because if they ain't have a quarterback, Venables was out of there. He was done. Done. Right?
I think the thing with Brown is, yeah, you had a lot of drops last year, but I like the fit as well because little to any other university has proved to develop receivers at the same rate as LSU. So if there's anybody that can get the most out of him and eliminate that dropping problem, it's him. And guess what? All they did was just get speed and deep threats. So I think LSU's prepared to run and gun. So I'm thinking running with Jackson and Durham and throwing that thing deep to Brown and Chris Hilton and so on. I think he eliminates the dropping issues. You got a really good deep threat. He's blazing probably one of the fastest receivers in the SEC. I don't know if it's Mater or Mateer. He killed it at Washington State. And like you said, they were a quarterback away. I don't think they were a really good team last year, but when you got guys like Danny Stutzman on defense making plays, Jackson Arnold just wasn't going to be the option for you. The guy that played in his absence or when they benched him wasn't bad, but this guy, like you said, he's an established guy. He proved that he can sling the ball around in the Pac-12. Obviously not the SEC, but at the same time, you get a guy who's got college experience. He can bring that in here, and I think all it's going to do is bring Oklahoma's offense better because Venables is defensive guy. And like you said, if they didn't bring in an established quarterback, was in trouble. I know he just signed an extension, but that seat was starting to get a little warm. Like the leather's starting to crack a little bit. And I mean, with Damon Wilson, Missouri lost a lot. You know, some people aren't expecting great things from them this year. Obviously, you lost Brady Cook, you lost Luther Burden, you lose some really important pieces. This is a really good piece for them to build off of and stay competitive. I don't think Missouri's a playoff team by any means, but getting a guy like this, and they're still doing really well in recruiting, I think it helps them stay competitive. They're still probably anywhere between a 7-8 win team at the end of the day, just depending on quarterback play.
And I ain't mad at that. Man. They've had Georgia on the ropes a couple times throughout the last couple seasons.
Oh, they definitely should have won one the last couple of years for sure.
Yep, exactly. So, why not have a guy that knows a little bit about Georgia,
And that could help open, and a move like this could really help open the door for people who are like, oh, well, I could go to Georgia. But why not go to Missouri? I can play. Obviously, other guys are coming here. Let me check it out. And they can almost beat them, so why not?
Yeah, so, I mean, the transfer portal is really cool in some aspects because if you're a 5-star guy and you ain't seen the field in like 2 years, why not just get a fresh start? Because if you're a 5-star and you haven't seen the field, other teams were recruiting you too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was just
a lot of people want to take a chance on that potential.
Yeah, and I think it's like maybe he was like a 5-star already, 4-star, whatever, but he still had got potential to be real good.
Mm-hmm.
And the last few transfers for Mizzou have really hit. So, Cody Schrader's one of them. They got a guy from Clemson, the cornerback. He had like 4 or 5 interceptions last year. So they've been hitting the transfer portal pretty good. So I think this will be pretty good, man. So as we go into impact transfers, let's get into the young guys, man. The impact freshmen that I think are going to be day one starters, man, or at least in that rotation, right? So I got your guy, DJ Pickett, man. A solid 6'4", right? Crazy wingspan, typical LSU cornerback, right? gonna get some playing time, if not starting like Derek Stingley was, right? So he's one of those dudes. We all seen the pictures of Justice Terry, right? NFL body, college player, right?
Already.
Yeah, like NFL body, college player. He's ready to go. Texas got a good one. Let's just say that. And then Elijah Griffin is just another line of Georgia monsters that they just keep on pumping out, right? So he's gonna get some playing time. But the person I'm really sure gonna get some playing time, like day one starter, that's a lot, is Justice Terry. I don't think you keep him off the field. I think you let him just go out there and play real fast.
Make mistakes.
Make his mistakes at full speed because he's gonna do it. And then next year he's probably a All-American, right? So there you go. That's what I'm thinking. What you think?
I really like Pickett, and that's not even being a homer. I just love his body and size, and being able to come into a cornerback room like that isn't bad by any means. They've like developed a lot of younger guys. A lot of younger guys got to play last year, but a guy like this got great size already, great ball skills, dude. Long, like that's an immediate playmaker. If he's not starting, you're definitely getting first team reps. Like I feel like I don't know what Brian Kelly's plan is. But you didn't recruit a guy like this to sit his entire freshman year. You recruited a guy like this, the number one corner in the class, to be an immediate playmaker. I don't know
like
about
number one player, bro. He was that good.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he's gonna have the same impact or same playing time as a guy like Stingley, who killed it his freshman year and kind of lagged off the last couple. But he definitely has the potential to do so, if not be even better than Stingley was early on. So
shit, I would have lagged off too if I was Stingley, man. Those LSU teams got
dude
bad,
killed
bro.
as a freshman, and then 2 years later he's like, all right, I'm ready to go pro. I'm done.
Shit, he was already ready as freshman.
That's what I said. That's why I said he killed as a freshman.
Yeah, he was ready to play, bro. He's like, dude, I'm ready to play on Sunday.
Dude, I'm like, bro, I was watching. I'm like, where did this dude come from? I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. Like, Darrell Revis much? Like, what's going on, bro? Like,
yeah,
and it obviously showed. I mean, he just got a big payday from Houston. So, I mean, LSU is one of the best colleges that are developing corners outside of, like, obviously secondaries like Alabama, Ohio State, stuff like that. So,
until he played against Devontae Smith that year. Devontae Smith had his number, bro. But that's okay because Devontae Smith had everybody's number, bro. Like he's a little dude, but he was like killing it. I'm like, dude, how y'all letting this little bitty dude just keep catching touchdowns and like running past y'all? Like
not bodying him.
No, not even. You can't touch him. He crazy off the line, bro. He like slippery, like a worm almost. It's like.
It helps though the way his frame is made it like that though, because it's like you kind of. I would figure playing corner, it's probably hard to gauge like where he's gonna go or what he's gonna do because of his size and his frame.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, so now we're gonna get into some coaches. I think so. Any agreement here? The top coaches in the SEC: Kirby Smart, Steve Sarkisian, Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin. Any disagreements here?
I'm going to say Brian Kelly's got a hell of a stat line, great accomplishments, but you haven't proven anything to me in the SEC. And like we've said it before, I didn't okay. So like, and I think me and you kind of felt the same way when they hired him. Was like, wow, okay, like you going for a big splash. Like you're trying to do something. But I think it was pretty apparent early on, and even over the last couple of years, the culture fit isn't necessarily there. I think there's kind of a disconnect there. And in my opinion, it's very obvious that it's very hard for you to handle those high pressure situations, those big pressure games in the SEC. So although I think he is probably one of the better coaches in the conference, he needs to win a big one this year for me. Like you need to win your first game because you can't win the first game for whatever reason. And then you need to make the playoffs. I like Lane Kiffin. I just don't really like how they were freaking being goofy last year and faking injuries and stuff. That was dumb. And I feel like they kind of got exposed a little bit last year, especially by Florida later in the year, but so did LSU. So I think Lane Kiffin's obviously the offensive genius. I think the top coaches are just going to be between the top two. That's Kirby Smart and Sark. I feel like they're on a different level. Obviously, Kirby's got, 2 or 3 natties since he's been at Georgia, and Sarkisian's continued to be at a really great trajectory uprise. Seems like he's got Texas right where they need to be. They just need to punch that glass ceiling and, actually capitalize.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's 1-2 is definitely Kirby and Steve Sarkisian. Because, Sarkisian made the playoffs last year. You know what I'm saying?
And the year before.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? So it's not a surprise that they're really good, right? I just think when you talk about the top coaches, nobody's been as accomplished as Brian Kelly across college sports, period. So I think that work he's put in, the whole body of work, just really resonates with me as a top coach, right?
Yeah.
And then Lane Kiffin, I think he's had an up and down head coaching career, right? I think we've talked about that a lot. But I think the fact that he's mastered the NIL game out of all of these 4, he's mastered it to the point where he just uses it to his advantage, and that gets you Walter Nolan. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I put them in there. I think Kelly's body of work and the fact that Lane Kiffin has mastered this NIL transfer portal thing makes him a top coach in the SEC, man.
I would agree.
So yeah, but then we get into the next thing, right? This is a group. Seat? No, not the hot seat, man.
Good standing, okay.
Yeah, coaches in good standing, man. I think we got a lot of guys in here, right? I think Clark Lee's in a good spot. I think Hugh Freeze recruiting has put him in a good spot. Eli Drinkwitz has won 10 games plus the last 2 years. So he's in a good spot. I think Shane Beamer's in a good spot, right? South Carolina was this close to making a playoff. Tennessee can score 50 on you any game, right? They're in a good spot. Mike Elko has the Aggies in a really good spot. And I think Kalen DeBoer is in a good spot as well, because this is technically year 1 of his tenure. Because last year was just kind of like, whatever. If we win 10 games, cool. If not, hey, we could just start completely over, right? And that's what this season is. So anybody on here that you agree or disagree that's not in good standing?
So I'm not going to disagree on any, but I'm going to just give you a few that kind of stand out to me. What Clark Lee's been able to do with Vanderbilt at a very short amount of time, especially now what they're starting to do in recruiting and NIL. Seems like they have a little bit more money to spend than what we were initially led on to believe. I feel like they're doing really good. They made a bowl game last year. They're looking to capitalize, win even more this year. I don't necessarily think they're going to win more games this year, but it's in the conversation. People want to say that Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat. I don't think so. These things take time. The work that he's been putting in over the last 2 years or so in recruiting is crazy. They're up for bidding on all recruits with Alabama, and it's not even funny. Like, all the big guys that Alabama's got their name in the hat for, Hugh Freeze is in their ear too. Like, he's battling to get good guys. He's gotten good guys. I really like what Drinkwitz has done in Missouri. He's established a good winning culture. We're going to see how that transitions into this year, if they're going to be able to keep it up. Obviously losing a lot, but I think they'll be okay. Shane Beamer is probably one of the most impressive ones to me, because it feels like as soon as he stepped in the building, everything just started changing instantly. Man, You're getting all these great guys transferred. I forgot that one really good defensive lineman they had last year. He won an award. I forget his name. It was really freaking good. You get him. You get Rocket Sanders to transfer in. You have a stud at quarterback and Sellers. Probably should have made the playoffs last year and had some questionable officiating when they played LSU. South Carolina's in a real good spot. Josh Heupel, I kind of want to see what they're going to do post Nico. I think whoever they put in there, they're still going to score points. But they definitely do have some question marks that, we're going to have to see how those work out. You lost some really good players in the draft over the last year, so we'll see how that works. I really like Mike Elko, and feels like he's gotten Texas A&M back to at least some stability within one season, and he's killing it in the transfer portal and recruiting as well. It's transitioned really well for him from Duke to this. I think he's going to have them in a good spot. And Kalen DeBoer, we're going to really get to see what he's going to be able to do, not having to tailor an offense to a special gadget player like Milroe, and now he can really run the offense to his design specifics with a guy like Ty Simpson or whoever. I think we're really going to see I want to see him run that offense to the same capability they were at Washington. We've seen what he was able to do with a quarterback in Penix, turn him into an injury-prone scrambler, into probably the most proficient passer in the country. Who's to say he can't do that for some of these other quarterbacks coming in? So, no, I don't disagree with any of these. If I had to favor a couple, I'd probably go with Shane Beamer. I really like what Hugh Freeze is doing recruiting, and I like what Elko's doing at A&M.
All right, no, man. Hey, that was good. That was good, man. I thought you was gonna be like, man, nah, man. Eli Drinkwitz, man, he on a hot seat. I was gonna say some shit like that. But it was a tough group because I was like, man, I think I'm forgetting somebody. But no, I think I did pretty good.
I should have had a hot take.
Right. Nah, but this is an interesting group. So these are the coaches that must improve or their seat's going to get extremely hot, right? But all of these three are not like the other, right? So let me break it down for you guys. Okay. So Jeff Livy had a horrible season last year. I mean, Mississippi State was horrible, but they're rebuilding because of Mike Leach's passing, and the coach that was after him was a complete disaster. So this is completely a rebuild, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he has complete time to do this, right? But you got to improve. It's the only way to go up from here, right? Last season was just terrible, right? So you can only go up from here, right? Now, for Venables, the last part of the season was better than the first part of the season, right? So if coming into this season, the Sooners have to start like they were at the end of the season. They can't repeat again because then, okay, now we're gonna go offensive because now we're gonna get rid of you and we're gonna get an offensive guy because we were scoring 50 points before you got here. Now we're only scoring like 30, right? You can't win like that. You know, that's a complete drop off, right? So they made a move, got the quarterback, so now we can fix the offense, right? Cool. That's my assessment of the Sooners. But then you got Billy Napier, right? Everybody in the world, even us, was like, yo, he's fired before the season even ends. Like, bro, we were. I wish I could pull up the clip of us talking about Billy Napier. I think we all said, yo, he's going to be fired before the season ends. Do you see that schedule? But them jokers said, hold my beer.
Watch this.
And Billy Napier is still there. He's still alive. He's still kicking. And they won like 8-9 games last year. And they have one of the best quarterbacks in the country coming back. So he's still here. But they have everybody on this list has to get better or it starts to become a little bit uncomfortable. Specifically, Venables and Napier. Levy, I think he has a leeway to just like, hey, let me just build slowly. Let's start building ourselves back into being respectable in the SEC, right? Everybody can't win. You can't make the playoffs. Everybody can't make the playoffs, but you can get into bowl eligibility. And that's what Mississippi State needs to focus on, man. I mean, they were one of the first teams in the playoffs in like 2014. They're like number one when that ranking came out, right? But they ain't been good since, right? It's been up and down. Good players, instability, right? But I think he's safe. But the other two, any drop off, we having the same conversation like we were having at the beginning of the season. So what you think? Did I hit it or miss it?
So for me, I don't think any of these guys are in immediate risk of losing their job. The only person who I could see losing their job would be Napier, but it would have to be completely off the rails from jump. Like, there will be no glimmer of hope from the beginning. I don't necessarily look at it like that. What I like about his situation is Florida still has really good athletes. They've done really good in recruiting in the transfer portal. But it seems like they've bought in. It seems like he's kind of grown some form of, like, fire under their butt. And they've got a culture going now that they want to win for him. And that's what you want. You want your players to buy in and want to win for you. And you have a freshman quarterback who – well, now going into the sophomore year, that really seemed like he captivated the team and they wanted to play with him and they wanted to go to war with him. And that's another thing that you really want. So you have a coach that you really want to play for, you want to win for, and you have a quarterback who you really want to play and win for. So I think Florida's in a really good spot. Even if they don't get expectations like we think. If they fall in the same spot or a little worse, I think he's still there. I think what they were able to do last season by rattling wins off against Ole Miss and LSU, I think that secured it. It showed that there was some things going on. I think he's good. Mississippi State is a complete bottom feeder. This is obviously going to be a long process. It's going to be something that's going to take a lot of work, a lot of grinding. It's going to take more than a season. So I think he's got plenty of leash. And Venables just signed an extension. So even if they are crap, he's not going to get fired this year. But I will agree to the point that, that was a big splash you getting that quarterback. So you have to come out guns blazing early in the season. Because if you don't, that leather is going to start to crack. You're not going to get fired, but that was a huge move for you to make a step forward. And those boosters are going to say, hey, bro, hey, like we just gave you this big extension and you ain't got this quarterback and it still ain't working, bro. So like what's going on? Like we need to get something going. So if I'm hopeful for any of them the most, I'd probably say Florida. I think Florida's in a better spot than Oklahoma, but Oklahoma at the end of the year could end up having a better record. It really just depends on how this, and I don't even know if we've even got full out schedules yet. And we'll probably break all the schedules and stuff down at some point as well. But I think all three guys do need to improve, but I don't think any of them are in immediate danger to being fired.
All right, man. Couldn't say it better myself, man. But let's get into the danger zone, man. The hot seat. Now, I'm a Sam Pittman guy. I love Sam Pittman. If I was a football player, I would want to play for Sam Pittman, okay? And Mark Stoops, man. Mark Stoops might have just ran out of luck, man, okay? Because it seemed like every time we say, hey, man, he about to get fired, they win like 8 games, and then he back to where he been before. So, but Sam Pittman's had a quarterback issue. That's the only thing. I think they've had a quarterback issue for a while, and they haven't found that guy, after KJ Jefferson, right? So they needed some guy to step up at the quarterback position because they had a few games that they could have won last season. And but I think he's on the hot seat just because they know how good they can be.
And they're not getting
borderline playoff team, right? If they put it all together. But definitely a 8-9 win team, right? They can definitely be there. I like the way they run the ball. Rocket Sanders was really good there. They have some really good running backs there right now. Shoot, just go Darren McFadden style, man. Just have you a nice stable of running backs, right? Felix Jones, Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis. Have you a nice stable of running backs and just run the fuck out the ball, man. Shit. Like, dude, yeah, you got to pass. But if you can get to the point where you can frustrate somebody with your run schemes and concepts, you can win you some ball games, So that's my whole thing, man. I think you can win you some ball games if you just go back to what Arkansas do best. Woo, pig, suey. Run that ball. You know what I'm saying? And then for Mark Stoops, man, I think Kentucky's just one of them schools, man, that just, when it comes to football, it's just an afterthought. It's like Duke, right? Yeah, like nobody really cares about football. You can tell the boosters don't really care either because it's like, like if we're good, we're good, right? If we're bad, well, what'd you expect, So he's just in a weird spot, man. But I think he's on the hot seat, but it ain't as hot as you think because I think his consistency at Kentucky, because they've had really bad seasons, but not really terrible. And I thought last season was the first terrible season in a while. So they've always been 6, 7, 8 wins when he's there, right? Bunch of bowl victories, things like that. But I thought last season was like, okay. Yeah, last season was like, all right, maybe we lost it a little bit and we should probably make a change or something. But not as hot as Sam Pittman, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, me personally, I'm more of a Sam Pittman guy than a Mark Stoops guy. I think they're both in kind of a precarious situation. I think Arkansas always has athletes. I think it's just one of those things. Can you put it together? And I mean, even when they had KJ, they couldn't fully get the job done. Just feels like they can just never get it to go just mesh. Like you have all this stuff going on, but you can never get it to just line up. You have all kinds of riffraff and this and that. It just never works. But they have a lot of high potential. But I will tell you, if this team struggles early on, I'm saying like first 5 games and they're like 1-4, it's probably not looking so good for Mr. Pittman, unfortunately. And Mark Stoops, man, he's been consistent, man. I think Kentucky just needs something different, to be completely honest with you. If they struggle again, that definitely could be a conversation. I don't think he gets fired this year unless they just completely fall off the freaking face of the earth. But I think they're kind of in this weird dysphoria. It's just like, man, what are we gonna be? Like, who are we? Like, we have no identity. It's just like we're just gonna maybe pop up every once in a while and have a really good game, good defensive game, whatever the case may be. But it might be one of those times where Kentucky, depending on how the season goes, maybe they do want to go in a different direction. I prefer Pittman over Stoops myself, but I mean, both teams don't have really high expectations. But if Arkansas does struggle early, like substantially, we could probably see him get laid out. So,
yeah, I can see that. But let's get into the meats of the breakdown, man. All right, so we'll start with Georgia. Obviously, Georgia got to the quarterfinal, lost to the runner-up Notre Dame in the playoffs, but they did win the SEC last year, man. So, Georgia, I think they're gonna be just Georgia. I think they're gonna be good on defense, and they're gonna have some chances to be really good on offense, man. I think them picking up Zachariah Branch from USC is gonna be one of those big moves that kind of help them offensively to where they can actually get that extra kick on offense. They've always been good on defense. I think Kirby Smart is just what he does, bro. Like I don't think he's ever gonna have a bad defense, which is why I wanted to keep him in Alabama, man. But hey, that's just what it was, right? But I do think they're gonna be really good again this year. You bring back Mike Bobo. He's been there for a while, multiple times. I think he's been at Georgia, so he's good. But I do think defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann, with another good year on defense, expect him to be on some more head coaching lists. I'm just saying. The last few years, man, Georgia's had some pretty good candidates. So I mean, Dan Lanning was there, and he got a head coaching job. So expect Glenn Schumann to cash in if Georgia's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm thinking about Georgia.
I think it's same song and dance. I mean, Gunnar Stockton's coming back. He's played in the offense before. I think all he's going to do is get better. I think there are going to be question marks to see if he can perform like to the level that Beck was playing before he kind of got hurt and fell off a little bit. But Georgia's just ultra talented. They're kind of in that same boat that Bama was in for a long time, just ultra talented on both sides of the ball, loaded at all the skill positions. Georgia's going to be in contention to win the SEC regardless. I think they're still going to be a really good team, and they're definitely one of the favorites in my book.
Agreed, man. So we move on to the runner-up, and that is the Texas Longhorns. So they got all the way to the Final Four of the playoffs, man. Lost in the SEC title game, but still finished the season pretty damn good, man. Top 4 in the AP, top 3 in the coaches poll, and they won 13 games. Don't really see that often, but you do. And they went and did some good stuff in the playoffs, man. So under Sarkisian, they've won about 10 games every year. So I expect them to do the same. Kyle Flood is a Bama disciple, but he's an offensive line coach. So I expect them to be a little bit more nasty up front. And I expect them to make the playoffs again. I clearly do. They're one of the best teams in the league. And I do think Arch Manning is going to show a lot of people he can play. I think people was like, oh, well, not Arch Manning, but Quinn Ewers was better than Arch. I don't really think so. I just think they didn't want to lose the team. That's all. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why he was starting over Arch. but I think there's going to be a complete different offense this year to the point where they actually might be putting up about 40 points a game because they're going to be really good. You pick up a player like Justice Terry in recruiting, and there you go. You got a host of good players already. Lost a lot in the draft, some really good players, but that's okay. You just retool, and everybody wants to go to Texas. Okay, everybody wants to put on that Longhorns uniform. It's not a secret. So when you get the opportunity to go to Texas, whether it be recruited or going in the transfer portal, you take that opportunity. So I think Texas is going to be pretty good this year.
I think Texas is still in a really good place. I agree with the point that I think this offense is going to be a lot more very high volume, fast pace, moving the ball, moving the chains, down the field, moving the first down markers. Like, I think Texas is probably going to have the most balanced offense in the country. I just think that Arch has played in this offense and practiced in this offense for 2 or 3 years up to this point. I think he's probably got it known like the back of his hand. Probably got really good chemistry with the other guys. His potential's sky high. We've seen what he was able to do last year in limited capabilities. If they are able to protect him and do what they need to do, Texas is already ultra talented on defense, even with the players that they lost. Texas is still definitely a playoff team for me. I think they still are definitely in contention to win the SEC. And if he balls out to the capabilities that most people think, Texas is going to be very dangerous.
I agree, man. So let's keep it going. Let's talk about the Tennessee Volunteers, man. Let's go back. Let's keep talking about the Tennessee Volunteers. Let's not go past that.
Oh.
Let's let it roll a little bit. We had Texas next. And let's get into Tennessee, man. Let's get to Tennessee. Then we're gonna take a quick commercial break after this, man. But let's talk about the Tennessee Volunteers, man. Also made the playoffs. I think they're the last team of the SEC to make it. Should have been a little bit more. Nah, Bond is done, bro. He done. Ain't nobody gonna want him after what he did. Shoot, man. He done, son. But if there was a team, I think Tennessee could take them because they got some good players. They got some good players as well. But nonetheless, man, the Volunteers, man, they end up embarrassing the SEC, but losing to the eventual national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes, in the first round. But they have a lot of question marks. But they're like the Oklahoma Sooners under Lincoln Riley. You put anybody in there, and they just gonna throw the ball around. That's all it is. It's that kind of offense. So I think they're gonna be pretty good. I don't think they make the playoffs because I don't think they have the next guy up. Like they don't have a Kyler Murray coming after Baker. They don't have Jalen Hurts coming after Kyler Murray. They don't have that next guy. I'm not confident in that. But I don't think they make the playoffs. But I do think they are going to make a bowl game, though. And they're going to be pretty good. That's my take on it. I think
Tennessee's a talented team. But the question marks do have me kind of pumping the brakes a little bit. I agree with the fact that I don't think they're a playoff team. I just don't think they have that guy at quarterback to take them to that next level. Say what you want about Nico and his antics. The guy, like, I know he didn't get a whole lot done, but he was able to run that offense in a pretty efficient way, having those guys playing at a high tempo and able to make the playoffs. I don't think they have that guy. They did lose some other really good key contributors, especially on defense in the draft. So, I mean, I know Tennessee's going to be a competitive team. I can still see them being anywhere between the 7 to 9 win range. I just don't see them being a playoff team. I just don't see enough yet. Maybe once the season starts and we're able to see like what they look like, my opinion will change. They're a bowl team, but playoff team, no, I don't think so.
All right, man. Yeah, man. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break, man. You run that commercial real quick, Brandon.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me see.
Yeah. Be right back.
Yeah, hold on. There we go. Commercial break, guys.
All right. So we're back, man. So appreciate everybody watching right now. So we're gonna go against the next team, man. We're gonna go against the Ole Miss Rebels, man. Winners of the Gator Bowl and a complete splattering. Um, they beat Duke pretty bad, but they also were probably pissed off that they didn't make the playoffs as well. So, but Ole Miss, a 10-game winner last season, finished in the top 15 ranking. Um, they're in a good spot. I mean, Lane Kiffin is an offensive genius, so it doesn't matter who he has, he's gonna win. He won at FAU, and they really kind of benefited from his recruiting, and they were pretty good after he left. So he's good. Ole Miss is gonna be good. So I am confident that they could be another fringe playoff team. I think they can beat some people. I think they can score against anybody. That's gonna be a tough team to beat for the whole year. I think they're gonna be good. But I think they just missed the playoffs or they barely make it. That's what I'm thinking. But either way, they're gonna win more than 8 games this year. That's how good I think. That's how good I think Ole Miss is gonna be.
I think just talent alone will keep them in games. I mean, you've seen what he's been able to do with the transfer portal, with NIL. You lost, obviously, your guy in Jackson Dart. You lost a couple other really good guys, but dude, they're ultra talented. They were a fringe playoff team last year. I think they're going to be scrappy. I think they're going to have a lot to prove. I could definitely see Ole Miss being that team, like you said, that is either right on the cusp of making it or just now making it. I think that they're in that conversation with a lot of other teams. And I think just off of talent alone, excluding coaching, I think they're definitely in that conversation.
Yeah, and they bring back Charlie Weiss Jr. as an offensive coordinator, and they bring back Pete Golden, who's a blast from my not so good past. But nonetheless, I mean, Pete Golden definitely is. He's so smart as a defensive coordinator that sometimes he's too smart for his players.
Overcomplicating it.
Yeah, sometimes you should just make it simple. Just because you know it, make sure your players understand it as well. And I think that was his problem at Alabama. Like he just made it so complicated, the calls and everything. Because you saw after he left, and we got Kevin Steele for that one season, our defense played hella good. So that was my whole thing. Make it simple sometimes for your players. Whether it be the checks, the audibles, whether it be the scheme itself, lining up who got who. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got the tight end here. Just make that shit easy. Don't make it hard, man. Because if you're thinking too much on the football field, Isaiah Bond, touchdown.
Prone to make mistakes.
You know what I'm saying? Kyron Lacey, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jalen Milroe, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Running on you, right? So there you go. Right? You're thinking too much. So I think that's the key for them on defense, man. They gotta simplify that, man. Mm-hmm. But we get into the next team, man. All right, we get into the Alabama Crimson Tide. So, all right. So this is my team, right? Wear the shirt. I am the resident Alabama fan on this show, this YouTube channel, right? So last season was a bunch of shits and giggles, right? So you start off the season, we were the shit. Oh shit, Bama's back, bro. Nick Saban, who? What? Nick Saban, we ain't going nowhere. That's how the season started. But then, when the season ended, Brandon and all his other Bama haters were giggling a lot. They were giggling.
He was checked out.
Yo.
Yeah, he was like, hey, bro, I'm done.
Yo, as a matter of fact, I was giggling too. I was like, yo, we can't be this bad, dog. We can't be this bad. Over the last 2 games of the season, we played the 2 worst offensive teams in the country, Oklahoma and Michigan. And we lost both of them games.
In ugly fashion.
In ugly fashion, bro. In fact, the loss to Michigan is what knocked us out of the playoffs.
Oof.
Flat out. The loss to Oklahoma knocked us out of the playoffs because if we won that, we play in the SEC title game, and then we got a shot to get into the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think had we even lost that game, it would have been tougher to put us out.
Well, yeah, because y'all were at least in the spot to start with compared to being on the outside looking in.
Right, and then Georgia and Texas made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if everything went square, we would have made the playoffs last year. But this is the new year, right? So Jalen Milroe gets drafted by the Seahawks. Congratulations to him. Not the first rounder I was suspecting, but I think we all could agree that he was going to be drafted, right? So then you got some other players, Malachi Moore, who gets drafted. I forgot who he went to, but he got drafted as well. So a couple of the older statesmen are now gone. So this becomes a young man's team now, right? No really 5th year senior for real to be like, hey, look, this is my team, whatever. So now the Kalen DeBoer era really starts, right? Number one, year one for him, right? I felt like last year was year 0, right? We just threw everything together and hope it stick. And we won 9 games. It's plenty of teams that go from legendary coaches to like new person and they just shit the bed, right? Look at Mississippi State. They lose Mike Leach and then poof, there you go, right? They're a horrible team now. So the fact we won 9 games is very, very good, right? But now we come into this season. Nick Sheridan is still on the offensive coordinator, but he's not the number 1 guy, right? I think last season we wanted Ryan Grubb, but he had the NFL opportunity. You can't pass that up, right? So now he's good. But now we got like 3 offensive coordinators, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing. But I think it'll be a good thing because Jamarcus Shepard is a wide receivers guy. And Nick Sheridan is a quarterbacks guy. So now Ryan Grubb can just use all of that knowledge and intel to find out who are the best options on offense. I think that makes it really simple to me, right? Then we look at defense, in my opinion. Kane Walmack, everybody on Twitter, the Alabama fan, was shitting on him. This defense sucks. It's not Alabama's defense. It's horrible. But I tell you what, those last 5 games, you didn't hear too much people talking about the defense. We was getting after the quarterback and we were stopping people, right? So that's my whole thing. I think we're going to be very good on defense. I think now you got all that riffraff, all them players that wanted to leave, that were on the fence, that just stayed because Alabama was giving them some money. Now they out the way. Shoo, get out of here. Now, this is going to be a good defense, man. And I think we can make the playoffs, right? Under one condition. The quarterback has to play like he's supposed to. Okay? That's the only thing that stopped us from making the playoffs last year. Am I right or wrong? That's the only thing. We had a good team. We won 9 games. I think 3 of those losses was on the quarterback. Flat out. The bowl game was definitely the quarterback. Well, I think everybody checked out, quite frankly. So I can't blame him for that. But the 3 losses before that, that was on the quarterback. Had to play better. Had to throw better. You know, Ryan Williams ain't the only receiver on the team. You got to throw it around, you know. So that's my thing. I think we make the playoffs. I think we make it, but barely. But I don't think we win the SEC, though. I don't think
so. My thing is, I think this is the mark of the Saban era officially being like out the door. A lot of those guys who were there, who were bigger names, they're gone now. So now you don't have that distraction. Like you said before, you have a lot of that riffraff going with the guys who are like on the fence. That's gone now. Milroe's gone, so that's done now. And DeBoer can run the offense to the capabilities that, like I said earlier, he wants to. I think they're still ultra talented. I think now they're going to probably play a lot more loose, a lot less pressure. I think they're going to just buy into the system and what they have. But quarterback is still a big question mark. I'm not saying that Simpson can't be the guy, but, we haven't really seen too much. And the SEC got better around him. So I think Alabama is still in the playoff conversation. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't see it this year. I think this year they might slip out the playoffs again. But I don't think it's because of any fault of their own. I think it's just because the SEC is going to be really good. And I think it's just going to be slim pickings for like some of those teams at the end of the year. But I still think there's a chance, yes. I want to see what the quarterback position is going to do. I think the offense will run a lot smoother, and I think their defense won't come off like so flat early on. I think their defense will perform at a higher level for sure.
Nah, I ain't mad at that. Man. So we can agree to disagree, but I think it's gonna be a fun year for both of our teams, honestly. So, but let's get into it. Let's get into South Carolina, man. So they have another coach from a blast from my not so good past. Mike Shula is now in his first season as the offensive coordinator for the South Carolina Gamecocks. He was formerly he was a head coach of Alabama before Nick Saban got there. Not that good run. Lost a lot of big games. Won all the cupcake games, but the games against LSU, the games against Auburn, you lost a couple of those. And we don't like losing those games that often, right? So, and he missed out on Tebow, but that turned out to be Greg McElroy. And we know how important he was to Nick Saban's first championship run. So, nonetheless, legendary father, legendary coach himself. He's actually won some games too. So he's got a wealth of knowledge. And I think offensively, it might help Lenore Sellers a little bit because he's got a wealth of knowledge. So that'll be good. Clayton White comes back as their defensive coordinator this year. And of course, the head man is the same. That is Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber. Why do I keep saying Shane Bieber? I need to listen to some Justin Bieber, man. That's probably why I need to. Anyway, but Shane Beamer is the guy at the top, man. He also has a legendary father. So that's pretty awesome. But I think South Carolina is one of those teams that makes the playoffs. I think they make the playoffs, but I also think they make a run for the SEC title this year. I think they make a run for it, man. I think they're going to be good. I think on defense, they're going to be a little bit nasty, but I do think that they are a fringe playoff team. I won't give it to them because I think they're going to lose a couple of games, but I do think that they might win 10 games this year, 10 plus. I take the over barely, but they did win they won
Citrus Bowl.
Won a Citrus Bowl. But then how they beat a Palmetto Bowl champion? Is that the did they beat Clemson?
No, they didn't beat. I don't know. No, I think they lost. They lost it. They didn't beat Clemson. I don't think.
What is the Palmetto? Like I don't know. This means we need Andrew in here. What is that? I don't even know what that is. I've never seen that before. Palmetto. Yeah, I think that's the rivalry game, bro.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, that's the rivalry game. The Palmetto Bowl. Yeah. From South Carolina and Clemson. Yep. And South Carolina won that game. They did. They won that game. Shout out to Jerry, the spouse on the team, liking the video. Shout out to it. Shout out to her, man. We appreciate that, man. But nonetheless, South Carolina is gonna be a good team. All right, gonna be a good team, bro. They beat Clemson, but I don't think they're gonna do it this year. I think that might cost them a chance for the playoffs. Because I think Clemson gonna be good, bro. When we get the ACC action, we got a lot to talk about. But nonetheless, what you think about South Carolina?
I think South Carolina continues to build off of what they did last year. I think Shane Beamer might have won SEC Coach of the Year last year, winning 9 games. Really impressive. Definitely had a ploy to want to be in the playoffs, but you have another year with your quarterback going to be getting even better. You lost a few really good players in the draft, at safety and defensive line and stuff like that. But I think South Carolina, I think they got something really good. I think they're an in the hunt team. I can't guarantee them a playoff spot because obviously you have some more of the powerhouse teams that are going to be in that conversation. But they can definitely make a run to be in the SEC title game depending on like how things shake out. I like South Carolina. I see them pretty much in the same spot, maybe 9-10 wins.
All right. Let's see. Let's get into it, man. All right, let's talk about my Missouri Tigers, man. So, you guys stole our defensive coordinator last
Blake
year.
Baker.
Yep. So we're in year 2 of Corey Batoon as the defensive coordinator. So skipping all the pleasantries, I think Missouri is going to win like 9 games this year. I really do. I think they win 9 games. I think they figure out a way to win. But I do think we're going to be more of a power team, kind of like how we were with Cody Schrader. We picked up another good transfer. Hey man, what you drinking?
I don't know. I don't know what this is.
What is that?
A mimosa. Non-alcoholic.
Nah, man. Let me get some. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty too.
I got you, bro. I'll express ship.
Yeah, man. Express shipping.
He said I'm thirsty. I'll come drive up the street real quick.
Yeah, man. I'm thirsty, man. Nah, man. But I think Missouri finished the year ranked in the top 25, so that's pretty good. Won a bowl game against Iowa, also pretty good. So I think they win like 9 games, but it's gonna be more of a power threat this year. I think they win with power because they picked up another good transfer. I think his name is Ahmad something, but he's another good transfer. And the transfer portal, like I mentioned in the earlier segment, has been pretty good for Mizzou. They've hit on almost every transfer that they've gotten, so I'm excited about that. What you think?
My thing is, I still think they're obviously going to be everybody. I think as long as Drinkwitz is the coach, I'm pronouncing my words weird. I think as long as Drinkwitz is the coach going into his 6th season, I think they're going to be a competitive team. But I do think there will be a slight drop off for them. I don't see it being defensively. I think you might see a drop in production offensively. I'm really hoping that Missouri's quarterback this year is not going to be who was backing up Brady Cook last year because he was horrendous.
Yes.
He was horrendous. He was gift wrapping interceptions to Alabama players like it was nobody's business. He can vouch for it. I watched the whole game.
Me too.
But I think Missouri is still a competitive team. I do not see them in the 9-10 win range. I can see them anywhere between 6 to 8, probably sitting in the middle at 7 wins. I think they still make it to a bowl game. I still think they're a scrappy, well-coached team. I just don't see them in that 9-10 win range.
No. I can agree with that. Man. I agree with that. I think we'll be all right, though. But we'll see. All right, so let's get into the Aggies, man. So 8-win season. You got a lot of former players on here. Colin Klein, we remember him from Kansas State. So he's offensive coordinator. Holman Wiggins, they stole him away from Alabama. He's part of the Nick Saban exodus, right? So he's pretty good. So he's gonna probably be the receivers coach more than likely. But Mike Elko has him a good defensive squad, man. Got a host of draft picks this year. Scorton, Shamar Stewart went top 20 in the draft. So a lot of good players. So they're doing their thing, right? Took an L in the bowl game to USC. But nonetheless, man, look, USC still an offensive juggernaut. Regardless of how you feel, Lincoln Riley can coach offense, right? And if you can't score more than 35, you're probably not gonna beat them, right? So, nonetheless, I'm excited about what the Aggies can do, and I think they might be in this range again, 8 to 10, maybe, if they steal a couple from some high-ranking teams. But I do think they finish around 7, 8 wins again, and Elko's still gonna be good, but they're missing a quarterback. They need they need a quarterback.
I don't know about that, dude. I think they have their guy Marcel Reed. His running ability and arm strength are really good. He gave LSU's defense fits. I think if Elko can do some work with him like he did with dude who transferred to Notre Dame, his name is completely evading me. Who was Notre Dame's quarterback last year, Cam? Guy from Duke. What was his name?
Not Lincoln Riley. Riley Leonard.
Yeah. Now, obviously, they're two different players, but I think if Elko can get some really good development out of Reed in the offseason to be anything like better of a passer, I think A&M's offense is really dangerous just because he's a really fast guy. He's fast. Like, he ran all over us last year. I think defensively, they're still going to be formidable. I think any Mike Elko team is going to be a very well-coached team. And all I've seen A&M do in the offseason, whether it's recruiting, transfer portal, NIL, all they've done is get better. I definitely see A&M back into this 7 to 9 win range. I think they're going to be a well-coached team. I think they're going to be a very talented team. I don't think they're a playoff team, but they're definitely bowl eligible by far.
All right, man. So I think they make a bowl game though. They'll be all right. All right. Now it's time for you to control the show, man. So, as I mentioned, y'all stole our defensive coordinator, Blake Baker, man, from Mizzou. But y'all did get to a bowl game and y'all did handle business against Baylor, who we didn't see in the playoffs or the bowl season at all. We thought Aranda was like
cooked
on. We thought he was going to be fired before the season ended, man. But what's your outlook on LSU, man? How you feeling?
So I think they did a lot of good in the offseason. I think you had your big bulletin board of a lot of your positions of need, which I feel like in the transfer portal, when you have the number one recruiting class, you can either do one or two things. You can be too top heavy on certain positions. I felt like across the board, they really filled in those areas that, one, you needed day one starters or you needed better depth in. So like on the defense and the secondary, you did good on offense, but you got into the quarterback. You got Brown as a receiver. You got like the best safety in the transfer portal. You got Pyburn. Like defensively, we're really struggling last year against mobile quarterbacks. I don't think that'll be as much of an issue. This is Blake Baker's second season. I think that I think this defense is going to be playing a lot more sound. My major question mark for LSU is offensively. I think that you're still ultra talented at the skill positions. I think receiver, you've got a really fast, athletic group that can really spread the field out and really spread those secondaries thin. The running back room, you have Caden Durham coming back. He's still a really good player. Caleb Jackson's more of the bruiser, so you can have a 1-2 punch. And then you have the number one recruit at the running back position, Harlan Berry, coming in as well. They're really deep there. You lost 4 out of 5 offensive linemen. So I feel like they helped address that in the transfer portal quite a bit. I think it's still going to be a question mark. The big difference maker for me, I really like Trey'Dez Green at tight end. Very tall, athletic, big body guy, especially big red zone threat. But I think everybody knows the main question mark is going to be the quarterback position. Garrett Nussmeier, probably one of the more prolific passers in the country last year. I think if he didn't lead the whole country in passing yards, he was damn near there. Don't get it twisted. He is one of the better quarterbacks in the entire nation. But we need to see. My thing is, I feel like this is a make or break year for LSU. For me, it's playoffs or bust. There's no that you missed the playoffs 2 years in a row with Jaden Daniels. That was a botch. And then last year, I feel like it was really the year you should have made the playoffs, and we had a really good chance to make the playoffs. And then between Nussmeier's mistakes and then the defenses not being able to contain Marcel Reed and Jalen Milroe, that was completely flushed down the toilet, in my opinion.
That was a good game.
That was a horrible game. Oh, man, that was bad. I was checked out after the second quarter. But I think the thing with Nussmeier is we know that he can sling the ball around. We know he's prolific. We know he's a gunslinger. And we started to see those improvements later on in the season. He had a big problem with holding on to the ball too long, I feel like. Or like times he should just scoot for a couple yards, just 3, 4, 5 yards and get a first down. He's slinging the ball down the field. That's not necessary. And just being patient in your progressions and not forcing the ball into windows you don't have to. Giving the ball away in bad situations. Like we can't afford to do that in the SEC where your opportunities are very far between. You have a really good team. If you're able, and I feel like he will fix it because I feel like another offseason, we've seen him get better each season. If he's able to eliminate the turnovers and he gets better in his decision-making, whether being into making smarter throws, whether being the checkdowns or scooting for the first downs, I think LSU is a very dangerous team, biased aside. I just think they're very talented.
Super biased.
No, definitely not. I think LSU is a playoff team, but, man, there's just so many things that could go wrong for me. I think they make the playoffs because you have to make the playoffs this year. Because if you do not make the playoffs, you are in a really bad spot. I know Brian Kelly said this is the most talented roster. I don't necessarily think like that. But what they've done with NIL and the transfer portal, like they have a very talented squad. Like don't get it twisted. Like biased aside, they are very talented, especially on defense. They got loads and loads better. So I think with Baker being here an extra season, I think the defense plays better. I think Nussmeier will get better. I'm still concerned about turnovers and decision-making, but I feel like he will still be good enough to get us into the playoffs. I'm not the most confident about that. I think they can still be in this 9 to 10 win range. The SEC is cannibalistic, and there's so many things that could go wrong or right for you. So I'm going to say they're a fringe playoff team. I think they make the playoffs, but I'm not very confident in saying so. But I feel good about the season, though. I think it'll be a good year for sure.
Yeah, no. I think LSU, they definitely going to be bowl eligible. It's not going to be that bad at all. I think they'll probably be right close to the playoffs, you know. That's kind of where I think. I think 10 wins, Kelly's still going to be there. Anything less than that, that's when we start talking about hot seat. You know, so. But let's get into this.
Damn, that was the quickest take you've ever had. That was quick.
Yeah, man, because I already know LSU gonna be good, man. Like anything less than 10 wins, we're talking hot seat. Like that, you're not supposed to be at LSU winning 7 games. Not supposed to. It's way too much talent in Louisiana. There's way too much brand. Way too many good players that have been there. Like the players that have played there are boosters too, at some point, right? So they're not gonna allow you to just win less than 10 games, bro. So that's why I just know LSU gonna be good. I'm sorry. I don't need no take. You did the take for me. You did the take for me, man. So I'm good. I already know. You got more of a chance to win like 10 games than we do.
Yeah.
I'm more
I would say so, but I think they're they're still both in that window. They both could definitely do that without a doubt.
No, that's fair. I'm just more confident in LSU than I am with my own team because you gotta show me something after last season. I was so mad. But I was happy about the Florida Gators. I think we both were. Billy Napier going into year 4. No, not really too many known names as far as offensive and defensive coordinator, but they both were brought in the season before, and they had some success, man. So 8 wins. I think we probably thought it would be more 5 and 8.
Yeah, I think we both agree there.
Wouldn't be here. But they win a bowl game. And like I said, DJ Lagway is one of the most important players to their team success. I think that's fair to say. If he balls out, I think they win 8 games or so again, right? But they know they're rebuilding. They're rebuilding, and that was a good step in the right direction, right? I think Napier got himself some breathing room because I felt like we both said last year this might be a bit too much for him, this job, right? It's too much.
He was drowning.
Yeah, you took a big step to go from Lafayette to Florida, right? But He making it work. And I think the Gators will be a little bit more patient, but I think they want to see more. I think they'll be impatient, in my opinion, and try to think like, "Oh, we should win 10 games," but I don't think they're ready yet. I think 7 to 9 wins is good. I think 7 to 9 wins is good for them to go into the next season. Anything else is overachieving. Anything less is underachieving. What you think?
So I touched on this a bit earlier, but I think Florida's in a good place. I'll touch on it again that you seem like you've got something to buy into. Seems like the players have bought into what Napier wants to do. And it seems like the players really want to play with Lagway. You've seen a huge change in momentum once they let him play. I think there was a little bit too much uncertainty early on. The fact that you were going back and forth with Mertz, and everybody knew that Mertz just wasn't going to be the answer. So for me, I think Florida comes out like loose this year. I think they have a lot less pressure. I think Napier, like you said, he can breathe a little bit more. Now, obviously, there's still pressure. You're playing at Florida. It's always going to be pressure. But you've bought yourself a little bit more time. You've bought some confidence from the boosters and the people calling the shots. They're like, okay, you pulled off like 2 top 15 wins at the end of last year. I'm in for giving you some more time. So that you did lose a couple good players in the offseason, whether being from the draft or the transfer portal. But I think Florida is still an ultra-talented team. And I feel like a team that is that bought into a coach and quarterback, regardless of talent, is dangerous, in my opinion. And they're playing with a level of confidence that you can't really take away because they're just bought in. So I think they're in a much better place now than where they were last year. I see Florida in the 8 to 9 win range. I think they're definitely a bowl eligible team. And if they set the world on fire offensively with Lagway, this team could be a dark horse to sneak into the SEC title game, kind of like South Carolina. There's still some question marks. They're still young. They don't have a whole lot of like big game experience. But I think they're still a dangerous team nonetheless. I think Napier gets to coach a lot more loose than what he was. You're still kind of like on a warm seat, but you're in a much better place. And having a guy like Lagway get to come into the year like, I'm the guy, I think that makes a big difference. I think Florida's in the 8 to 9 win range.
All right, no, I won't get no argument from me there. I think they'll be good. I like Lagway, and I think it'll be really, really good, man. So let's get into this thing, man. Let's get into the Razorbacks, man. So I think we're both in agreement that the Razorbacks should have had at least 10 wins, at least, because they lost some close games last year, man. But this is year 2 of the Bobby Petrino, who was the head coach there years ago. Definitely a weird situation, right, to say the least. But I mean, they had some success under him. It seemed like offensively they were really, really, really better than they were with KJ Jefferson, right? So I think they could be. I think best case scenario they win 8 games. Worst case scenario
they win like
they
4.
lose about 8 games.
Yeah, they win like 4. They go like 4 and 8.
Yeah, that's worst case scenario, man. So in that scenario, Sam Pittman is probably not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want that. So I'm saying they're gonna win 8 games and they're gonna make another bowl game and they're gonna win that bowl game, which will probably push them to 9 wins. And then we can start talking about some more Razorback talk next season. But I still think 8 wins. I think 8 wins because I want to see Sam Pittman stay.
I want to see him stay, but I haven't seen enough to put them there. I think Arkansas has a lot of question marks, and I think there's a lot of pressure on Pittman going into this year to make results. I don't think results in the sense that, like, we can't degrade. Like, we can't take a step backwards. Like, we can't fall back into, like, a 4 or 5 win season. If that's the case, Arkansas is like, okay, we need a change. We need somebody else established. We need to get this under control. The SEC, like some of these teams there are teams that got better that are like middle of the field kind of teams. Missouri's still a competitive team. Vanderbilt is still going to be a really competitive team. Texas A&M is going to be a competitive team. Like the SEC got better. I didn't see a whole lot from Arkansas. I'm like, okay, I feel a bit more confident. I'm going to be honest with you. I think they fall into the same boat. Either 6 wins, make a bowl game, or 7 wins. I don't see anything worse. I don't see anything better. Best case scenario, like you said, they can fall into the same boat they're in. I think he saves his job. But if they come out struggling early on the first 5 games, they only win like 1 or 2 games, they might be looking for a change. I don't want to see that either. So I think they're at least 500 or like 1 game better.
All right. No. That's good. All right. Let's see. All right. So Vanderbilt, the bottom feeder that somehow is not a bottom feeder. I think we felt like, okay, they were probably going to be maybe bowl eligible, might miss out on it last season, but they shocked everybody, beating Alabama, and that put a battery in their back to really say, okay, we can win more than 6 games, which is exactly what they did. They win that bowl game against Georgia Tech, a very good Georgia Tech team, by the way. And coming to this season with a little bit more confidence, than other years of Vanderbilt football. So nonetheless, I think they finish around this, but I do think they steal a game or 2 from somebody. Hopefully not Alabama again, but definitely I think they steal a game or 2 from somebody.
Okay, so I think Vanderbilt's still a talented team. I think anytime you have a guy like Diego Pavia, I think he's going to keep you in a lot of games. They were doing their schedule a couple weeks ago on the Villains podcast, and I kind of want to just go through these games really quick and just kind of give my synopsis for a record. So they start out the year at home against Charleston Southern. That's a dub. They start out the season 1-0. They go to Virginia Tech. I think they're going to get that win there. They're going to start the season 2-0. Then they have to go to South Carolina. That's a loss. 2-1. They get home against Georgia State. I'll give them the win. I'll give them the benefit of that. They start the season 3-1. Then they have home against Utah State. I'll give them the win there. This is where things get a little hairy for me. In Tuscaloosa, that's a loss, 5-2. At home against LSU, that's a loss.
And a W. Hopefully you got to feel what I feel.
A lot of people think that Missouri's gonna be bad. They got home against Missouri. I'm giving Missouri the dub. That's 3 losses in a row. You're 5-4 right now. You got home. You got at Texas. That's another loss. You're home against Auburn. I'll give you the win there. Home against Kentucky. I'll give you a win. And then Tennessee, you got a loss. So I've got them at, let's see, 1 win, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got them at 5 wins.
Speaking of Auburn, I don't think I forgot to put Auburn on here.
Oof, we'll do them
last. Okay. Fuck them guys.
So I think Vanderbilt will be okay. I think they'll be a good coach team. I think Pavia will be good. But I've got them digressing here. I've got them at 5 wins. I think the SEC got better, bro. I don't think that they're going to catch anybody surprised like they did last year. I think teams will be more prepared and ready for what they bring to the table.
Okay. No, I think so too. I think they come back to reality. I don't think next season's going to be that good. I think specifically the matchup with Alabama is going to get real ugly.
That's going to be a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I think it's
that's going to be nasty, bro.
I can't wait to watch it too. I'm just like, yo.
I want to watch that game too.
I'm just like, yo, all right. I talk that stuff.
Snap back to reality check.
Yep. So, but let's get it too. So I wanna say Auburn finish. We can do Auburn at
we'll just do Auburn last.
Yeah, fuck them guys. But I was just interested to see where they finished last season. So they went Auburn and basketball. Fuck basketball.
Ooh, they don't have a great schedule either.
Yeah, I was just curious. That's all. Just curious.
Dude, like the second half of their season is tough, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
so they went 5-7, so they just missed out on the bowl game. So they right around this range anyway.
dude, their last like 6-7 games are like I'm not saying the whole schedule, but like for instance, like at Texas, at South Carolina, home against Ole Miss, at Tennessee, at Alabama, home against Missouri, and home against LSU. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. But we'll take care of Auburn later, man. We'll take care
No,
of
I'm talking about Oklahoma.
No, Oklahoma. I thought you were talking about Auburn. My bad.
No, I'm talking about Oklahoma. That's their schedule. That's their last like 6-7 games. That's tough.
Yeah, but they end up making a bowl game. You know, I think the win against Alabama definitely helped that situation. Yeah.
Wait, you talking about this past season? Because I'm talking about this coming season.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just going over it. That's all.
Okay.
I'm just going over it. That's all. Like I said, I'm just going over it. I think them making a bowl game was basically because they beat Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they didn't, they probably would have been what, 5-7. So
yeah.
So I think now going forward into this season, I think they are 7-5 material. I think the quarterback play helps them win a little bit more games, in my opinion, because they didn't have that last year, and they won 6 games. So I think the fact that you have that, I think you win a few more of those games. Now I don't think you beat Alabama. I definitely don't think you. I think you. Trying to think of a game they choked away offensively. Auburn. I think you beat Auburn this time, because I think they choked that game away and then Auburn beat them, right? Which put them on the path to be like, oh well, they won't even make the bowl game. So I think the fact that they got the quarterback position, I think that pushes them to about 7-5, maybe 6-6. But I still think they make a bowl game again, and maybe Venables is okay, maybe. What's good, Pitch Red? And I agree, they do. They do. They do. They have a really good quarterback situation right now. And that's better than what they've had the last few years. Jackson Arnold was complete bust, in my opinion. So 5-star guy that they was just like, oh, when he comes out, he's gonna be good.
Until he beats y'all at Auburn.
Man, fuck that guy. Fuck that dude, man. He wasn't that good anyway. He wasn't that good in that game, bro.
I think agree.
Definitely one of the best.
I think Auburn falls into the same bucket. I think they're better offensively. I just think that bottom half of their schedules is really tough. It's gonna be really hard for them to squeak them wins out later on in the season. But I think 6 wins, 7 wins tops. Still a bowl eligible team, and Venables can hold on to the job a little bit longer. Like I said, I don't think he's an immediate scaring of being fired, because they just did give him an extension, I think, last offseason. But I think they're 500 or slightly better.
All right. No, it'll be all right. Let's see, man. All right, so we get to Kentucky, man. We can like speed through this. I think they're gonna be ass this year.
I think they're a 3-4 win team.
I think they're gonna be ass this year, man. I do. I'm sorry, man. I don't see it.
And they'll surprise us and win 7 or 8. So
yeah,
but 4 wins tops. I don't want to be a pessimist, but not everybody can win 9-10 games. Someone's got to lose 4. Like someone's got to lose 8-9 games. So give me Kentucky at 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 too, man. You know, I ain't gonna say they're gonna lose all of them because they are SEC school, right? But they're not gonna win that many in conference, man. They probably might go winless in conference.
Oh, they pull a Vanderbilt.
Unless they get one on our next team. Mississippi State. So I think Kentucky and Mississippi State might flip-flop.
They can be fighting for the bottom spot.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
then Mississippi State will have a new quarterback too, because Michael Van Buren, he transferred to LSU. He's going to be like a backup for them. So I don't know who their quarterback is.
Yeah, I don't think Vandy gonna be a sleeper. Like maybe
No,
sleeper to win 8 games, but not a
they ain't
sleeper.
winning. But they not winning 8 games though.
No,
They ain't no way, bro.
nah.
They just ain't. And that's not trying to be a hater. Let's just be realistic. You know.
Oh yeah, I am a hater. I am a hater, bro.
You have a reason to be.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, bro. Nope. This ain't baseball. This ain't baseball. Now, Vandy in baseball is Alabama in football. Let's just say that. Okay, they win all the time, man. I agree. Poppy
He is underrated, but there's only so much that he can do against those other talent. Not saying that, but like I said, now the teams see what you can do. They're a lot more prepared this year. A lot of these teams are going to be better. I think, yeah, I had them at like 5 wins. I think they just missed being bowl eligible.
Yeah, I agree, man. But Mississippi State gonna be a rough season. Jeff Levy,
2-3 wins.
Year two, but I think they get like 4 or 5 wins. I think they improve a little bit. I think they improve a little bit.
So you think Kentucky's gonna be the bottom feeder this year?
Oh yeah, I do.
You know what? Now that you say that, I'll piggyback on that one. I'll be willing to take that.
Yeah, I'll take
4 wins is probably where I'm gonna stay. 5 if they get lucky, but I'll say 4 wins is okay. That's a step in the right direction. You get 2 games better. I mean,
I just think last season was so bad that I think the players that are still there probably like, man, let's just try a little harder. You know, like, I mean, seriously, when you lose 10 games, bro, you come into the next season like, damn, if I would have hustled on this play or got to this gap a little bit more, or maybe if I would have dove for that ball that maybe I could have got, maybe I would have we could win a couple more games. And I think just effort, just some more effort, you do it, Nah, man, Jeff Levy, he's the coach.
going into his 2nd season.
Yeah, he's the coach. I forgot where he was before that though. Because he was a high commodity, though. He was like one of those ones. So, but I don't know. But all right, let's talk Auburn. Let's talk Auburn. I don't think we talked Auburn. So let's talk about those guys, man. I'm sorry, I forgot about those guys. But I'm an Alabama fan. So fuck them guys.
He low-key likes Auburn. It's okay.
You're a liar. I don't like Auburn at all, man. Auburn's caused me so much heartache throughout the years, bro. I can't stand Auburn, bro. Like,
their schedule isn't that bad, Cam. Like, they start out the season at Baylor, at home against Ball State, home against South Alabama. They go to Oklahoma. They go to A&M.
2-3.
They at home against Georgia.
2-4.
At home against Missouri.
3-4.
They go to at Arkansas. I think they can win that game.
4-4. I say 4-4. I think they get that one.
Home against Kentucky.
5-4.
At Vandy.
6-4. Hopefully.
At home against Mercer.
7-4.
And then at the Voodoo House, they got Alabama to end the season.
7-5. 7-5.
You said 8-4.
Hey man, don't start. Start.
Hey, I already got him with the freaking intro with the freaking Davis. So
nah, we don't need that. The Voodoo House is crazy, bro. But actually, you know what? I think Auburn. I think Auburn could actually sneak up and win like 9 games next year, man. Like I think they could get 9 games.
This
bro.
Next comment right here. Auburn's the great value Tigers.
Yeah, they definitely are. I come back to the stream, see 2-10. Yeah, you missed all the teams, but we're talking Auburn right now. But I think 7-5 is like a fair assessment. I think 7.
And that's good. That's a good change.
Make
like
a bowl game.
you're starting to see what he's done translate to the field. which
they're
definitely much better. I mean, we'll see how Arnold plays in that offense if he makes progression compared to how he played at Oklahoma. I think he'll have a lot less pressure at Auburn. He might be able to play a lot more loose and play better. So we'll see.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So we got through all the teams, man. So y'all get in that comment box and let us know, man, who you think will, make the big jump. Who's gonna fall? Does Kentucky lose a lot of games? Who gets fired? Get in the comment box. Discuss the SEC, man. I'm telling you, this is gonna be a cool breakdown for us, man. So now it's time for us to pick our SEC title game contestants and our SEC champion, man. So I'll let you start. Who you got?
It's always hard picking the SEC championship game because you already have an idea of who you want, but it's just you really just never know. But if I'm gonna go out on a whim, if I'm looking at teams that were competitive last year, teams who got better, teams who got worse, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it's going to be a rematch. I think it's going to be Georgia and Texas again. I just think Georgia's just too talented to not be there. And I think Texas will be playing really – if Arch Manning plays anywhere we think he will, hitting on all cylinders, this Texas team could be dropping, like you said, 40 points a game. I think it's going to be a rematch. And I think this time, I think Texas wins the SEC. I think Texas is just on a mission. They've been getting knocked down the last couple of years in the playoffs. I think they want to get a high seed, maybe possibly, get a better situation for them to play. And I'm going to pick Texas to win the SEC.
Yeah, okay. So for me, I'm thinking Georgia. But I think on the heart and soul of Lenora Sellers, I think the Gamecocks make it. I think they make it interesting all season. They steal some games, and I think they make the SEC title game.
Okay.
And then, of course, Georgia smashes them. Yeah, I think that
was a good. I like how you did that.
Yeah, and I think Georgia just beats them real bad. But I think South Carolina makes the playoffs this year, though.
I think they're definitely a viable chance.
I think Georgia. We're talking about the playoff team.
Oh, we should just pick. Let's just say the SEC gets 4 teams, and you pick 4 teams. I pick 4 teams.
Okay. So I think obviously Georgia, South Carolina, because those are my SEC title contenders. And then I think
this comment.
Yeah, they're gonna definitely sit on.
He said Kirby Smart will literally sit on them.
Yeah, I think that's not gonna be a close game, but I could be wrong. I could be so wrong that South Carolina didn't even win, didn't even get there. But I do think they make the playoffs, so they're definitely gonna be in my 4. And then I'll probably go Alabama, LSU. I think so. I think those are my 4 if I had to pick. I don't think Ole Miss will make it because defensively, I don't think they're as good as they were last year.
So you don't have
Oh shit! Well, no, not if I got South Carolina in there.
So you don't think Texas will be in the playoffs again?
All right. Well,
after back-to-back playoff.
All right, my bad. I forgot about Texas.
I'm not trying to change you. I don't want to change you.
I just forgot Texas was even in this conference. I forgot. No, but all right. In a revised top 4, okay. Then I'd say Georgia. Then I'd say Texas, and then I'd say Bama and South Carolina. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my 4.
I'm gonna go Georgia, Texas.
It does.
Georgia, Texas, LSU. I just think that this year has to be the year. And I'll go on a limb and say Alabama. You didn't pick my team, but I'll say it's gonna come between Bama and South Carolina again, like it did last year. But I think Bama just gets the edge. I think Kalen DeBoer gets that offense going. I think South Carolina will be electric. But maybe Alabama just has the better resume when it comes down to, when it's all said and done.
All right. Cool. All right. So yeah, I think that's it.
See? He said, can't wait to see y'all Big 12 breakdown. Yeah, we are going to do the Big 12. That won't be – it'll probably be SEC, Big 10, ACC, then the Big 12.
Yeah.
And then every year we do a group of 5, like a smaller conference, and we agreed – we did the Sun Belt last year, so we're going to do the Mid-Atlantic Conference this year, so the MAC. Oh, shit, my bad.
My bad.
Emo.
Eastern Michigan.
Oof.
I think so. I think that's what I'm about. So, but yeah, I think we're good, man.
Is there anything else on the slide, or?
Yeah, there is, but
you said you had a surprise for me.
I do. It's not necessarily a surprise. It's kind of it's not every man a wildcat, I guess. But nah, man, it's more of a montage, man. So I just let it play. Man. Not sour.
What? Did he really go? Wow.
Yeah. Nah, dude, he did.
That's nasty, bro.
They got
Mixon and Chubb?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he did. I seen that.
Two-headed monster. I'm sorry, but that's crazy.
No. I was gonna say that for a short later, but yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoa. If he comes back and plays anything like he was, that's over with.
Yeah, see, he said I put out a short on it. Yep, we gonna do the same, man.
Bro.
You're a hater.
Dude, you a hater, bro.
You're a hater.
Like, you just don't want to see him be good, bro. Why does it matter to you? You in the NFC, he's in the AFC. If he comes back and even plays remotely close, he didn't even have to be 100%. If he's 80% of what he was, Houston's dangerous, bro. With Mixon too? Oh my gosh. No, don't get me wrong. 2022 Nick Chubb would be nasty in that situation. But, we'll be optimistic.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, everybody's worried about his injuries, man. But yeah, man, sour note we got to end the show on, man. But
let's see what this montage is.
But yeah, sour note tonight, man. As I said, man, we got my grandpa in here. He's taking a nap. I only got one question for you, Pops. Who do you think is better? I don't think they can see you. You gotta do it. You gotta fit a little bit. Who do you think is better, Dan Marino or Jim Kelly? Now, you've seen these players play on television. Who was better?
Marino. I think Marino was a little better than Kelly. But Kelly got the ups on him because he went to 4 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it's almost a toss-up.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we was doing. Oh, he's seen all of them. He's seen both of them play. So, thanks, Pops. I send you your input. All right, so sad. My bad, y'all.
It's okay. Take your time.
Yeah, so my grandpa passed away this morning.
Condolences.
Yeah, man. So,
prayers in the chat, please.
Yeah. So, just kind of wanted to give him a nice shout out, because wouldn't know those sports without him, So yeah, man.
All right. It's all right.
Yeah, so just kind of want to give him a shout out, man, because
Yeah, the detrimental part on your life, man. You know, he got you. He got you this passion that you have now. There's nothing wrong with. That's good, man.
Yeah, man. So
it's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. But yeah, so just kind of wanted to give him a shout out, man, because he was just on the show last week, So, but definitely wanted to give him a shout out, man. So didn't want to, mess up the show because it's one of our biggest shows of the year, man. So yeah, man, I appreciate all the thoughts, man. Yeah, definitely tough show, but yeah, man. But on a good note, man. It's good to see him on that trip. Me and Brandon were talking about not going on a trip. And that shit would have felt a whole lot worse.
Mm-hmm. It was worth it. You were like, man, I don't know. And then like to see like your reaction being there, you seemed like you were really like, you were really happy. And now in hindsight, it's a very unfortunate situation, but at the same time, you were at least given that opportunity. And now you can hold on to that, going forward,
Yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Oh, dude,
for real.
Thank you, man.
For real, yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. So yeah, man, love you too, Tyler, man. But yeah, so tough day, obviously.
Shout out to Pops.
Yeah, most definitely. But yeah, so but as we move on to next week, man, be a little touch and go, So I'll definitely figure out what we gonna do because I'll be busy with that situation. But as far as the breakdown for the Big Ten,
mm-hmm.
We'll definitely put something together. But it'll probably just be Brandon and our special guest that we got next week. But we'll see. I definitely do what I can do. But thank you.
You handle what you need to handle, and we'll take care of the rest.
Yeah. So
don't sweat. If you don't have the time to throw nothing together, don't worry about that. I'll take care of that. Just let me know. It might not be as fancy and cool as Cam because Cam's getting really good at doing this stuff, but we'll make do because that's really important. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, we probably need your pitch grid for real. Be a whole 5-panel rotation, So, but most definitely, we want to thank everybody. Tyler, Pitch Grid, See That Smooth. We want to thank Wendy in here, Andrew, thank Jerry, and Andrew for the like and the love.
And your wifey, man.
Huh?
And your wifey, man.
Yeah, exactly. So,
gotta give the wifey a shout out.
Of course. Most definitely, man. Even though she probably only watched for like 2 seconds.
Hey,
it counts.
She's supportive,
man. But before we get out of here, man, anything you gotta say to the people?
Yeah, in regards to that situation, I hope like you guys would really send some prayers. Those are really greatly appreciated. Just for some peace and some, grieving time and things like that. It's hard when you lose someone like that. So I get it. I hope you guys can be respectful in the comments. If you do pray or you do believe in Jesus, feel free to take care of it there. And let's just be positive, man. Like just not negative, just positive moving forward. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to like it. Make sure to leave a comment. We love comments. And if you're not already subscribed, especially on YouTube, subscribe. It's completely free. We're starting a Patreon pretty soon. That's going to have all kinds of other cool exclusive content. For the time being, like, follow, subscribe. And if you are on YouTube, hit the bell notification. So every time we do these or any other show, check us out. You get a notification. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, X, Twitch, Facebook. If you like listening to us instead of watching us, check us out on all the major audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Just hit us on a Google search, man. We'll be everywhere to fulfill all of your college football and NFL needs. The season's right around the corner. For the whole month of June is going to be college football breakdowns. For the whole month of July is going to be NFL breakdowns. And then right before you know it, we're back in football season and we're locked and loaded and ready to go.
Of course, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. So appreciate all of y'all for watching, all the prayers at the end, man. I appreciate all of that. So, but we'll see y'all next Sunday on the Football Frame of Mind weekly show. Catch y'all next.
Peace.
Peace.